Okay, so last time you guys saw the kitchen that I redid, and today I'm going to be doing the floors because they just don't look cute. Like every time I go to clean them, I'm like, oh, this looks like dirt, and it's a hole in the floor. And there's a lot of that going on. This is cracked over here. The baseboards look like shit, so funny story about this. Normally, if you wanted to put down vinyl floors, you would take off, if you had baseboards, you would take off the shoe molding. This house had a bunch of lazy people living in it. So basically they originally had terrazzo, which you can't really tell because I need to vacuum that out. But they just put tile on top of the terrazzo, on top of the shoe molding and the baseboards. So there was like a baseboard already on the floor and they just put the tile up to it instead of removing the baseboards. So that meant that I had to dig out the shoe molding instead of just using a little crowbar or like a little spatula, spackle knife type thing to remove it. I had to have John saw through all the nails because it was nailed into the wall, and I had to dig it out with like a screwdriver and a chisel. And so I know it looks crazy right now because that's all paint peeled off and stuff, but the baseboards are actually in decent shape, and there's going to be shoe molding going, you know, over top of that. So it's not that big of a deal that it looks crazy right now, but it was such a process. And I was thinking about ripping off the baseboards too, to put them on top. The whole house has these baseboards, so I don't really want to change that until we do like an actual renovation of the kitchen. So yeah, just wanted to explain that, what was going on there. And we took it out all around the kitchen. And I never painted the baseboards because I knew I was going to be doing the floors and it would have just been a waste of time. So after I do the floors, I will be painting the baseboards and the shoe molding that we put on. So just wanted to explain that. It's gonna look way more professional that way and not like I did it myself, hopefully. So also along here, I always thought this was interesting. You can almost see the glue that's holding this strip down. So it's just all in all going to look so much cleaner. It's gonna be covering up all this chipped tile, and it's finally gonna look how I want it to, so I'm very excited. This is the vinyl tile that I got. It's the Traffic Master brand from Home Depot, and each box is like $35. So if you have a small space, it's actually really cheap to do this. Our kitchen is 200 square feet, so we needed 6 boxes, so it ended up being $200. But this is the color of the boards. I think they're absolutely beautiful. I would have normally gotten not such a warm color, but since the rest of our floors are very warm, I wanted it to go with it and not be a cool tone, so I think this will look really pretty in the kitchen too with the white cabinets. It's not even the vinyl where you have to snap it in, it's like a sticker. And I've used that in other parts of my house and it came out amazing, and it's super DIY friendly, so I hope you guys enjoy this. So here I am just cleaning the floors with my little Swiffer thingy. I use a combination of alcohol, water, and some Meyer's all-purpose cleaner, and I let the floors dry obviously before putting anything down. Next, you're going to need a tape measure, a razor blade, a pen, and then I think this is called a speed square, but you just want to measure the board and cut it in half. So for me, half was 18 inches. So I just measured that with a pen, and then I took my little speed square and I ran the razor blade right along that line twice. And these things just snap in half. They're so easy to use, so DIY friendly, and you definitely want to cut on the front side, because if you start cutting on the back side, it's just going to be a mess. So trust me when I say cut on the front side, and then you can snap it in half like that. Now, this next part is optional, but I'm kind of spastic, so I wanted to lay out the pattern beforehand so I could see what I was working with. So what I did, I laid out a short piece first, and where you cut the edge, you want that to go facing the wall, because otherwise you're not going to have such a straight line like how it comes from the factory. So definitely put the cut edge towards the wall, and then you're going to put a long piece underneath that. So you want it to be a short piece, a long piece, a short piece, and that will go vertically. Now horizontally, you're just going to put the long pieces until you hit the wall, and if you have to make a cut, then you would make the cut where that's necessary. So this part is optional. I'm putting down some extra floor adhesive from the brand Henry. Okay, so for extra grip, I know it looks weird, but that's what I just put around the edges, just so it doesn't slip and go towards the wall. I think it'll be all right though, because I am gonna lay the tile down so it's touching the wall, but the baseboard just makes it a little difficult to make sure it's like really tight. So I just did this for extra grip. You could do the whole floor with it, but I just wanted to do the edges. And you might not even need this. I just wanted some extra security. A lot of people had really great reviews just putting the planks down themselves, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so here you can see me making several mistakes. So first I had the idea that I was going to lay the tiles down on the grout lines of the tile that was underneath, because I thought that it would be a perfect line, and it was, but here's why you don't want to do that. So you don't want to do it because if you have any uneven tiles, you are going to see that when you take a step back. I ended up doing that, and I unfortunately had to rip up like 30 pieces of tile and put them about 2 inches back, because you want the tile to not end on the grout line because it will be much more uneven. So when I ended up pushing it back a couple inches away from that grout line, it ended up way smoother. Also here, I'm putting planks vertically when I should have just gone across in a row horizontally, because you'll see me do this, but basically it's harder to fit them in between two than it is to just put one next to the other, if you know what I'm saying. So you want to do a horizontal row across and then move on to the next horizontal row. You don't want to do what I'm doing here, because see how I'm struggling to fit it in between? It's not good. Just do it across. You'll find that it's way easier. And you are going to have to move things around. I had to move this giant fridge by myself, but it just looks so much cleaner if you do the whole room. Don't skip over parts like behind the fridge. And here, for some odd cuts, I'm just putting it against the end, and then I'm marking where that cuts off. Then I'm going to take that cut edge and flip it around. So again, it's not facing the seam, it's facing the cabinet. And then luckily for me, that little cut piece that I cut off fit on the other piece right next to it, so that was a very easy cut for me. Okay, so here's how the floor is looking. It looks great. It's kind of a mess in here, and I'll show you when it's all cleaned up, but wow, it looks amazing. We're also getting rid of the island just because I like how it looks in here better without it. And then this is the trim I was telling you guys about. It's like 66 cents, I think, per piece. And we're gonna put it along the old baseboards, and I'm gonna paint it, and I think it looks great. So it covers up any unevenness, and it covers up that huge crack that we had. Same thing over here. Okay, so here are the final results of the floors. I think it's absolutely stunning. I'm so happy with what we chose. It just looks amazing. And it was actually very simple to put down. I did almost all of this myself. A lot of you probably won't have to do what I did regarding the shoe molding, but it does look so much better, so much more professional. Like you saw, we had to dig out the old shoe molding. Normally you can just stick like a putty knife and pry it off and then put a new one on and paint it. So that I would definitely recommend doing that, or removing the baseboards altogether, but just replacing the shoe molding can really make it look so finished. So that's what we did. I really think it just warms up the kitchen and makes it go so much better. I do think that it just feels more homey, and all of this was $200 for 200 square feet, and we had leftover. So it's about $35 a box. and we needed 6 boxes. They have a sort of square footage estimate on the website, so if you are interested and you know how many square feet your space is, it definitely could be less than 200, but we had a big kitchen, so, and we just put it under the transition strip right here, and it looks great. Very seamless, and I love the variety of wood, well, fake wood. I just love it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and give me a thumbs up for more DIYs in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.